Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see you. This is for the month of September. As always, it can be used for sun, rising, and moon, and it's going to help you really about 6 to 8 weeks, not just the month ahead. Okay, let's get started. There was a lot of energy that came through in dreams and meditation this morning. The first thing kind of reminded me of a game that I played when I was a kid, red light, green light, where, you know, when the teacher would say green light, everyone could move, red light, they stopped. Well, it was like a permanent red light, and I was the only one that was able to move. So I stepped into this scene, and everyone was there. They were looking. I could tell that the wheels were moving here, but they seemed frozen. And I was kind of coming in as a spectator, you know, sort of in more in a liminal space. But what I saw was eventually one person kind of pushed through this frozen energy that was holding them in place and was able to get to the finish line. And I feel like for some of you, you could be in a situation that feels like it's paralyzed. It could be, there could be a relationship where someone's rigid and unable to meet you halfway or listen or change with you. There could be a job situation where people are afraid of change, afraid of doing the right thing. You could simply be in a moment in your life where you kind of feel like, it could be like emotional molasses is the word that's coming through, just kind of like this thick energy that's holding you. But there is hope, and what I saw was it was just a little bit of a push. You have to push the body, push the mind, and then I saw that person come out of it, and then we got into the sort of energy of movement. So reanimation, a chance to get unfrozen, a chance to be liberated, and sometimes it takes a lot to pull yourself out of a situation where everyone is frozen or stuck or in stasis. So it was a really unique vision. The frustrating thing for me as a sort of an intuitive third party looking in on all of this was I could tell that people wanted to change. I could tell that there was energy of movement in their head. They just couldn't get their bodies to follow. So don't be afraid to be the voice of reason, the first one that makes a change. Chances are everyone else will wake up too, or at least a few other people, and you're going to be happy that you got out of that situation. This could just be about facing your fears too, but look at areas in your life where people are stuck and not growing or not moving, because then if you stay there, you'll get stuck, and that was the takeaway. I hope it makes sense. The other thing really interesting was I saw a rat, which is, you know, a powerful symbol of intelligence. Rats are pretty good at figuring their way in and out of situations, so we'll give them that. But they're also connected with energy like Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, and the Devil. So be mindful this month, particularly if you're signing a new contract, starting something new, evaluating something to dig beneath the surface. And if someone sounds too smooth in their delivery, particularly if it's a salesperson or just someone where you feel like, hey, wait a second, let's talk about this before I sign on that dotted line, please listen to your higher self on that and do it. So I saw a chance to like break a spell, to get unfrozen, to liberate yourself. And then I saw one person or situation that requires a little bit more attention to make sure that, you know, they're not kind of getting away with something. And that's it. Also with the rat, it is just speaking to your own intelligence and your ability to think your way through or out of any challenging situation. We could bring in like a little bit of Queen of Wands energy there. So let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through for the month ahead. Close your eyes, clear any thoughts that might be currently kind of ricocheting around. Take a deep breath and imagine that you're looking up at the blue sky. And in that blue sky, you can see the presence of angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, and even your higher self as well. Let's pull all of that energy present and open your eyes, and let's begin looking at the month ahead. Lots of clarifying cards came through. I always acknowledge and allow them to do that if they want to. We'll talk more about that in a second. Okay, let's begin. We're going to start off with your catalyst energy. This helps you make the necessary changes in your life that you need to. We have a combination here: divine masculine, divine feminine, yin, yang, and lover energy. And really, this is reminding you that with any core relationship in your life, it is give and take, it is about balance, and it isn't necessarily about having to make up for a lack in yourself with someone else. You have all of this energy within, divine masculine and feminine, and the love and the respect and the self-worth begins within. Like, L-I-K-E, attracts like, and this is a time to really focus on creating inner balance and seeking partnerships of all levels, like, again, in your family, in your friendships, and in your love relationships that embody this yin and yang that we see here. And it's also basically, you don't need it from me, it's permission from spirit to break through any sort of stereotypes. So if there's a job that would be traditionally masculine or feminine, who cares? If you're qualified, you're qualified. If there's something in your life that's expected of you because of whatever the, societal norms are, who cares? This is about you. This is your path. I say who cares more in a playful way. You should just be caring about what feels right, what is right, and tune out all of that, okay? But there is partnership energy that wants to present itself. We'll keep an eye out. I actually see it here in hopes, fears, and opportunities in the form of the Six of Cups. So you could have a new bestie coming in. It could be a love interest. Lots of options here. The overarching energy, before we get into the center card, is fascinating. I like where it ends up. I really like that we can see improvement in partnerships. We see new ideas and visions. We see movement happening. And by the way, I kind of completely looked over the Four of Wands here, so significant partnership energy. But self-care is so important this month. It feels like there's a move or a necessary change, some difficulty in concentrating, so some challenges, but I'm going to help you through it. Why don't we get started with the center card? Overall, again, it's headed in the right trajectory, but there's a couple of challenges along the way. So we're going to start off with the Five of Cups. Five of Cups in the reverse state. It's about perspective, folks. So if you are, this is what could be the frozen moment mentally or physically. If you are constantly looking back and thinking, I wish I would have done that, if I only had thought of this, could have, should have, would have, then it keeps you frozen in the energy or the perspective of the past. If you allow yourself to turn around and say, okay, ... but look at how strong I am. Look at how much I still have around me worth, sort of like being grateful for. Look at the friendship. Look at the alliances that are coming through. If you can do that, you can allow for this new awakening, this forgiveness, this ability to just kind of let go of the past. So we're already getting a nice connection to channeled messages, which is to release those feelings of regret, basically, and allow yourself to step into the energy of possibilities. That's going to be your green light, and we see that you don't have to do it alone because there's two cups there. Crossing this is the Justice card, a decision. And when we're looking at all the energy around it, for many of you, it's a decision to get out of something that isn't supportive, that doesn't allow for growth, that needs to change. However, you're the only one that can make this decision, that can make this call. So that's the first sort of thing that I see here is, are you ready? It's the universe coming through and saying, are you ready to let go? Are you ready to step forward? What do you need to do in order to feel capable and prepared to sort of like declare that? Now we can take it at its face value. Some of you may also be deciding to get a little bit more proactive when it comes to things like estate planning or legal matters. You may actually be involved in a lawsuit or deciding to fight for an injustice in your life. You may simply be wanting to create balance. If you've been working too much or if there's something that's lacking, this card is basically saying, now is the time to make the necessary change. As we take a look here at the deep past, an old line from He-Man actually comes through. Even though we're looking at divine feminine, remember I said the lines are blurred, but it is, you have the power. You have the power to do what it is that you want to do. And the Empress card comes through as that perfect blend of power and possibility to just remind you to steer the ship. If there's something that you want, go for it. If you need to be that voice of reason, like I saw earlier, now is the time to be the voice of reason. This is also connected with creation, birthing, nurturing, and building something. So this is a really good month to do so. We're finally out of retrograde, and that means that if there were any of those fears that were kind of tethering you or freezing you, it's time to get unfrozen. And this is a month where your vision, your voice, and your power should not be underestimated. Really good stuff. It just shows me that many of you have been doing the work on yourself, and it's just a matter of recognizing that self-worth that is already part of you. Okay, working smarter, not harder. That's the next message from Spirit. 7 of Wands, upright position, pushing back on unnecessary and maybe even trivial things that are coming into your life, saying, no, thank you, but no thank you. And focusing on also pushing back if someone isn't doing their part. Say, you know what? This is something that you agreed to do. Come back to me when that's finished, and then we'll move on to the next thing. You get to say no if you want to. This usually comes across in a reading because of success. The one right before it is 6 of Wands, and that is connected with success. So people see you as someone that can really help them get through something. So it's not about popularity, it's about skill and precision, and people see that and they want more of that. So if you're in high demand this month, it's even more important to be discerning and picky, because your crowning card shows what happens if you don't. So we have the Tower here in the crowning position, and it represents chaos, disorder, or changes for the better. Now, we'll talk about the messy stuff first. So the chaos or the disorder, since it's in the crowning position, stuff is kind of stuck in your headspace a little bit. And I feel like this is probably something that's coming from the environment. And it makes sense. This card is kind of messy. This card is kind of messy. But we have the ability for you to move beyond it, because the energy that really wants to be there is 8 of Wands, and that's success, that's movement, that's progress. But there could be someone around you that simply expects you to work to exhaustion. Or there could be someone around you that sees that you're on the heels of the success here, right, that we saw with the 7 of Wands, meaning that you just came through 6 of Wands, and they're like, either they just kind of want to throw you off your game a little bit. That could be the rat. Again, it could be a frenemy, it could be a coworker, it could be a boss that just doesn't respect boundaries or lacks empathy. Whoever it is, you don't have time for that. And it's really important for you to stand up and say, this doesn't make sense. That's what justice is going to do. They're going to hold up a mirror. Justice doesn't have to have this long dialogue. They can just simply, figuratively speaking, hold up a mirror and say, is this what you just said? Is this what you expect? Because if this is what you're requesting, this will be the outcome, or this is what we need in order to make it happen. I understand you want this yesterday or in 5 minutes, but I also have 15 other things. So what needs to give? Something needs to give. So hold the mirror up and help someone see that the request isn't, clear or doesn't make sense or isn't possible. Now, this is also a card of necessary movement. It could come because there is just this sense of disorder. So I talked about the frozen energy in the red light, green light example. So you could just be in a place where you're not allowed to grow. It could be the relationship, it could be the job, whatever it is. And the only way that you can get out is what? To break free. And I mentioned I saw someone kind of struggling, almost like they were getting unfrozen, breaking the ice. And that's what happens here, a breakaway. So I actually see this Tower as, for some of you, it's a breakup. It could be giving notice. It could be liberation, or just walking away. It does not always have to be chaotic, especially when it's here. It's you breaking an old thought sort of process and saying, no more. So especially because we have yin, yang, lovers. So we have loving, powerful energy here. We have 2 divine feminine cards here. So this is all about power and pushing back and seeing something in a different light. Once you break free, you have 4 of Wands energy, connecting with that 6 of Cups. Support. You don't have to do this alone. You may feel like you're alone. This 4 of Wands doesn't show the people in it yet. I'm going to pull the traditional one while we're talking, but rest assured that if you set a good example, I felt like other people would step in and follow suit. And if not, folks, that is the litmus test that you need to know that this isn't the situation for you. Because if you can't be your authentic self, if you can't, speak and act and exist with logic, then you can do better. You deserve better. So what I'll show you here as soon as the card pops up in my hands here. 4 of Wands. In the traditional illustration, you see people in the background. There's some people way back here. Then there's some people here. They're never right in front. So we're just a little bit ahead of the curve here. So in this card, no one's here yet. In this card, they're just starting to arrive. So imagine this month might be 1 or 2 or 3 weeks before those other people show up. You need to follow your heart, and then that energy is going to pull in people that are in that same sort of frequency, okay? And that's what I'm picking up on. Now, shifting it to just the face value. This could be a month where a relationship goes to the next level. If you've been with someone for a long time and never had that sort of conversation around exclusivity, this is a month where they may reach out to you and say, let's take it to the next level. Do you want to move in, or do you want to get married, or do you want to, fill in the blank? Something about getting more serious. For those of you that are working, this could be a chance to sign on the dotted line and become full-time, or people want to make you like a partner in a legal firm or something. It's elevation and permanence after a period of instability or lack of permanence, as illustrated with the Tower. Okay? Now let's take a look at how you're showing up. Pretty decent, actually. Page of Swords. A great communicator, a great listener, a great person to get things done. That's why we have that Seven of Wands energy, encouraging you to be discerning, to push back, not to overextend yourself. The listening piece is what Spirit wants me to underline a bit. So often in leadership and communication and business and school, it's all about, the talking, but I really think it's important to close your eyes, listen, and really feel it here, see it here, and make sure that you understand the words and that it's not like going in one ear and out the other. So active listening is super important. Your ability to communicate, whether written or spoken, is very strong this month. This is you. I would love to see you more in the Queen or the King of Swords, Gemini, than the Page. So there is a chance for growth there. But I think some of it is because, again, you might have to break free of a current situation. You've been in a place too long or in a relationship too long, and the other person or the environment isn't allowing you to spread your wings. Okay. Again, I think the trickier of the two cards, you can't really, the Tower's happening. It's just a matter of accepting it. 10 of Swords is the one where you have to be mindful here. So don't burn the candle at both ends. Don't overwork yourself. Try to avoid taking the bait if someone tries to initiate an argument or a confrontation. What we see here instead is there's a lot of other work to be done. There's a lot of other things that are more deserving of your time and energy. And if you are smart about personal limits, the sort of rat type figure that I saw in dreams coming through, if you keep that at arm's length, you can get back into this energy of being productive, of allowing things to start moving. And before you know it, in a blink of an eye, you're going to be out of that Tower and 10 of Swords energy. This could just be something someone said and it's sitting with you. And you're going to in this moment, you have a chance to decide that wasn't right, and I have other things. I have other people. We see it here. These 2 hidden cups, the 4 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. You have better things to focus on. Speaking of which, Hopes, Fears, Opportunities is a really lovely card. 6 of Cups is friendship, love, camaraderie. If it's someone that you just met, you have this instant spark and this instant connection. If it's someone you've been with for a while, I'm not surprised that we have both of these cards coming through. This is the type of relationship that can really stand the test of time. And again, we can look at it as any type: friendship, business partnership, or love. It's good. This is also you connecting with the inner child, allowing yourself to feel playful, to feel engaged in whatever it is that you're doing, and knowing that this also is a very attractive force in your life. Children might play more of a sort of focal point this month. So if you have children, if you're trying to start a family, or if you just want to give back and pay it forward to the next generation, all of that energy is coming forth. Now let's take a look at the outcome. Another card with a clarifying card here. So the Fool is about moving forward, and the 2 of Wands is about a vision. So we can put it together, and it's about taking your vision and bringing it into the real world. Walking the walk, because that's what the Fool is literally doing, is walking. So yes, take time to dream. Yes, take time to continue to evaluate the options. Notice how in this 2 of Wands, there's another hand here. So someone's coming in and saying, hey, I think I can help you, or I think I want to be a part of this. So I definitely see goals and ambitions moving one step forward, relationships taking center stage, and it looks like you're getting out of something that no longer serves or suits your higher good. Okay, let's expand this a bit. This will help us get a deeper understanding in all of these areas: health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with your health, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. In the area of health, follow your bliss, navigating the stars. It's kind of like the Fool card. So this sort of vagabond, this free spirit is taking to the road in front of him and carrying just a knapsack and trying to figure out, what is my North Star? What's my constellation? The Fool, following his heart, seeing what the world has to offer, traveling lightly with the friend there, with his little furry friend. So yeah, this is a chance for you to reevaluate and re-navigate. It may have been a minute or two since you've sat down and thought, is this what I wanted at this point in my life? If not, it's okay. It's good to know where you still have some bucket list items. Now is the time to pay attention to that. And I mean, when we're looking at this in health, this could just be a better direction, deciding to possibly move or possibly move on. Either way, it's going to help you, find a better place. You also might be, this is a very non-urban card, so you might be looking for something near near nature, where you can see the stars, where there's fresh air. So some of you might be moving to a more sort of country or suburban setting that allows for maybe a different pace of life. I'm picking up on that as well. Let's look at all the cards and see what additional messages are coming through. This card, like I said, can be kind of messy. So whatever the mess is in your life, whether it's literally clutter in your house or your office, whether it's financial or health, it's important right now to put the focus on cleaning that up and creating order. The sooner you do this, the sooner you make room for the good stuff here. This can be also instability in general health. It's coming through in a cognitive position in the spread. So some of you might be having a hard time concentrating, but I really do feel like it has to do with the environment, the type of people or the type of support or lack thereof that you're receiving. So it's time to move on. So moving is a big energy here for those of you that have been thinking of doing it. As someone who just did it himself, honestly, it's saved my life and reinvigorated me. So don't underestimate the power of a change in environment. It can be one of the most substantial changes that you make, okay? Other things that I'm picking up on, just creating balance, and it's you that is the initiator here. Justice can sometimes be a third party, but it can also just be you speaking up and saying, you know what, this isn't right, or I need this, or stop. So very decisive, very clear. This is a card of mourning, and there is no expiration date or magical amount of time. There's no such thing as too much or too little. We all mourn in exactly the right amount of time and at the right time. But one thing that we see in this spread is partnership. Again, 2 hidden cups, 4 wands, 6 of cups here. Lots of support if you need it. So if you need some help, ask. Some of you are pregnant because this is a card of pregnancy. This is a card of children, and plural. So for some of you, there may be twins, or if there was IVF, there may be multiple opportunities for pregnancy. In adoption, maybe you're looking at 2 children. I'm getting 2s here when I'm looking at beginnings. We'll take that into business and work in a second, but I'm getting multiple opportunities. The main thing, though, folks, is overwork and possibly this is an avoidable thing. So sometimes if you're rushing, this could be any sort of mistake or accident that is avoidable. So just slow down, like especially when driving or operating machinery, not worth rushing there. This can be chronic pain or fatigue, particularly in the back, but it can also just be, like I said, burnout. Otherwise, it's manageable. Everything else here looks good. It's just about these sorts of things, which you have to take time to slow down. We get a little bit of an encouragement to take a walk and do gentle exercise for those that don't have, a lot of mobility in the legs, maybe even just moving around in the house or doing something like chair-based yoga. There's lots of ways to gently move your body, but gently moving and stretching is what I'm getting with this. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go to wealth, your resources, life purpose, and career. And let's see what Spirit has to say here in the Oracle deck. Well, that's just kind of what I was saying here. Dance and celebrate. The card is reversed. So for some of you, it's just about taking a moment to celebrate how far you've come. There could also be something like a work celebration. Maybe someone just got a raise, or there's a retirement party, or a graduation party for someone that just got through school or training or something of that nature. Celebrate those moments. That's like a 3 of Cups equivalent here. Have some fun, be grateful, say thanks to others. And for those of you that want to do something like dance, this is especially for you if you're doing something like choreography or dance or physical therapy. Anything with moving the body, that keeps coming through. It's interesting that it also came through here. Now, let's transition this into more of a traditional wealth card. And I would say if you're going to negotiate a contract or get something started, there is a dance of creation. You do a little bit here, you do a little bit there. Sometimes this works, sometimes that doesn't. And if you can just see it as playful rather than pressure, then you can get more done. Because we have people wanting to see you in the playful mode, but if you get too hard on yourself, or if you feel too much pressure, it makes it harder to attract the kind of energies and opportunities that you want. Okay, we're going to break this down into 3 different categories. People that have a job, job seekers, and those that are retired or students. For those that are in a job, obviously, it's so important this month to say no, push back, all the things we talked about. I don't love this in the environment for an existing job. It could either be unrealistic expectations, unsafe environments. So again, especially for those of you that might be in construction, this is a card of construction. There's something there where there might be shortcuts or things that shouldn't be done. So speak up, be the voice of reason, the mind of reason too. This could be someone who tries to lead with fear or with insults, and that isn't a way to sort of like lift up. Something about the environment could be improved. I see a lot to love. I like the people, but I feel like there's something that's burnout oriented. So too much stress, not enough support, not enough positive feedback, something here. Don't let that get in the way. I do see success. I think for many of you though, even if you wanted to stay in the same company, we'll talk about entrepreneurs in a second, but if you wanted to stay in the same company, I think there's a chance to transfer or to move up. We have to break the glass ceiling a little bit. That was such a vivid dream that I had this morning. And I felt it was frustrating because I was also empathizing with the people that were frozen, and I started to feel myself freezing a little bit. And it kind of reminds me of this scene. I recently rewatched What Dreams May Come. By the way, like, have a box of Kleenex if you're going to watch that, because it's a sad movie, joyful too. But there is this scene where he has to meet someone who's stuck in an energy space. I'm not going to give away too much in case you've not seen it, but he kind of gets stuck there with them because he's entering into their mind space. So sometimes when we're in a place where others are stuck, it becomes our reality, and that scene stuck with me. If you don't move on from someone who is stuck, or a place where they can't move forward into the here and the now, then you become stuck too. So let's not let that happen. Let's liberate and set yourself free. Your ability to think through any challenge or situation, again, is one of your best attributes, tied in this particular spread with your ability to partner and have fun. And that's the key to success this month. Laughter, joy, loving who you are, loving who you're working with. That playful energy is how things get done. It's not sort of like, this person that feels like they need to kind of just push you. So I think there's a lack of leadership in some of the places that some of you are working at. So speaking up is key. No immediate danger other than burnout. Or maybe, again, if you're working too many hours or too hard, getting injured or something like that. But like when I'm looking at, can you navigate or keep the job? Yes. Now, there is one challenge with the tower. There could have been a recent sellout, buyout, merger. There could be some staff reductions. And in that situation, if you are the one that is liberated, I actually feel like that is it. And that's the word I'm using. It's good. You're going to land on your feet. So the immediate feeling is, oh no, but the opportunities here are to lean into the network, look around, and know that you're actually being gifted a chance to move on. So there may be some staff reductions at bigger companies where there's a merger. I feel like it's more connected to that merger or bad financial quarter, and then they make some cuts. You're coming through as a strong producer though, so pick and choose your battles. And in the long run, if you're in one of those situations, I would start to look. I feel like in 1 to 2 months, you could find something better if you want to. Okay? No immediate cause to concern or for concern, but I do feel like it's time to start looking if you're not able to get past a certain situation, or a certain level, I should say. Moving on to those that are entrepreneurs, change it up. Whatever you're doing needs to shift a little bit. You have a chance right now to reach a larger audience. People love who you are, but the way in which you're working seems like it may not be scalable or sustainable. So I think the important thing for my entrepreneurs out there are basically to experiment, do a little bit less, do it better. And also take a look at your finances, particularly accounting, and make sure that's where it needs to be. We have no pentacles here. We need to see some pentacles, and that's something to focus on. Okay, if you're job seeking, can you find one? Yes. There could be a sense of disorganization, or there is a kind of, depending on those of you that might be looking in certain industries, there may be volatility right now. I do think it can improve in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Again, power of 2 coming through. The key to success is through networking. And if you can get a face-to-face with someone, that is really important. Your ability to just really have some chemistry, that's what's going to make the difference. Moving could be advantageous. We have 2 cards here showing moving. So moving into a different industry, looking into a different location, and allowing yourself to just hit the reset button. This could be a disappointment. This is you saying, all right, I'm going to try it again, or I'm going to try something slightly modified here. So if you're willing to try a slightly different arm of your industry, or maybe even to say, you know what, I want to go for this. I'm going to figure it out. We'll make it work. And you could be starting from scratch. I don't see pentacles. So I think it's important when negotiating to bring up things like compensation, fight for your worth, and really look at the balance and the trade-off. Sometimes you have like a high-paying job but not a lot of free time because we're seeing this burnout card. Make sure you ask about that. In this particular spread, that could be the rat. They're hiding some information on overtime and stuff like that in the fine print. So definitely get a lawyer to look at stuff like that. But it looks 2 to 4 weeks. It's not immediate, and it feels like you need to get reorganized or look in a new direction. That's what I'm seeing here, and think of new ways to package your skills. Okay, looking at those that are students. Students, I love what you're like who you're connecting with. This could be staff, this could be fellow classmates. I think that there is a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself right now, undue pressure. So take a step back and remember that many, many decades and years down the line, people are not going to scrutinize the minutia of like your GPA and grade, like especially once you're in your late 30s, early 40s and 50s, people aren't looking at GPAs anymore on resumes, and they'll never care how you did in chemistry, calculus, English, whatever your challenge was in one of the semesters of school. It will not play as big a role as you think. So don't beat yourself up, learn from every experience. And I really feel like if there's a chance to pull back by a credit hour or so, like do that. You need a little bit of a break, and just don't be so hard on yourself. Whatever it was, it's about recalibrating and moving on. It's highly likely that many, many people have had to drop a class or change a major. And that's what we see here. By the way, this could be a change in major or a change in school. Sometimes you don't know until the first semester or the first year, or, until you've gotten in a little bit and you're like, I thought I liked this, but I don't think I do. Wherever you're feeling that need to change, honor that. Okay. Let's move on to retirees. Well, first of all, I see a lovely community energy coming through, making new friends, connecting with younger kids, finding the inner child as well, and deciding, hey, I want to do this for myself. Some of you may be deciding to sell your house and downsize. And I think many of you are wise enough to pull back from all of these obligations. Here's the cool thing. When you're retired, you don't have to say yes to everything. Some of you, I think the challenge could come from if you have children that have children, so your grandchildren, you do not have to act as the babysitter, or you don't have to say yes to every family obligation. I see a lot of pressure here from people that you love, and it could be too much. So you can remind them, I already raised you. I already did that. I'm not feeling like I don't have the same energy. I can watch them a couple days a week or whatever. Maybe it could even be a dog, or they're having you run errands. You get to enjoy your life too. Sometimes people take us for granted. So if you find yourself in that situation, push back, obviously with love, and figure out what's right for you. Otherwise, I see a chance really just, again, put the focus on personal health, cleaning and clearing your environment, spending time with the people that you love, and enjoying the world, getting out there, walking, hiking, being active in whatever way feels right for you. Okay, let's now navigate onto relationships. We're going to look at your catalyst first. We have the whale card coming through, a sign of intelligence, but also making a splash. So there could be someone that comes into your life right now and they really make an impact. They really make a splash. To me, this would be like the King of Cups, because whenever I look at the whale or shark, they're like top of their food chain, biggest kind of animals in the water. So I think of it as king or queen energy and cups. So there could be a wonderful water sign coming through to also help you out with something. Let's now look at everything here in 3 categories. We're going to look at those currently in a relationship, those of you that are looking for love, and those that are happily single. If you're in a relationship, changes, major changes are the name of the game here. Pregnancy, birth, adoption, addition of people in your life. We see that. It could also be the blending of families having, maybe again, it doesn't have to be that you birthed the children, but maybe this is a blended couple where there were children from another marriage and they're coming into the picture, or there are like aunts, uncles, or parents that are coming into the mix as well. How to blend all of that. So I'm getting blended families, I'm getting changes, new additions, and that causes a little bit of disorder and chaos, but it eventually gets organized. Most of the cards are good, so this can be a change for the better. This can be just getting married, by the way, because this is the contract, the morning of the single self, the partnership, and planning and plotting a new path together. So give it time. I actually think this is why sometimes it makes sense to move in and get used to each other before you get married, because then you can see if you're compatible. But sometimes it's the first time that you're together after you're married, and you're going to have to negotiate, like certain morning and evening rituals, certain things that are, just driving you crazy or whatever. So find a way to create space, create boundaries, and honor that these are, you're both 2 people that love each other, and you're just trying to find how to coexist. So I get big changes, but favorable changes, and trying not to argue. Like, don't sweat the small stuff. That's the main thing here. Make sure that you're listening and feeling listened to. And as long as that's happening, I feel like everything's going to fall into place. It may be important for you also, if you're looking to get married and you've been together for a while, to negotiate prenuptials or expectations beforehand as well. The challenges this month, even in a very healthy relationship, there could be an argument, there could be sickness, there could simply be unexpected problems that are going on. This can be, you have a car that breaks down, a roof that needs to be repaired, someone in the family that needs surgery or something significant. But I do see you coming together and navigating your way through it. So again, don't sweat the small stuff. And if the big stuff happens, this is the time more than ever to really listen and love and support. Yin yang lover. Find that way to get back into the energy of love, and you should be fine, okay? Mostly manageable, but a little bit of challenge. If you are single and looking for love, can you find it? Yes, but there may be people that come in where it's more platonic. So you may be looking for love and find friendship. You may also look around and realize that someone that you've been hanging out with, there's deeper feelings for, and that throws things into an interesting spin. So I see it happening, and at an unexpected time and place. Like the whale comes in, makes a splash, And it's almost the universe in a kind and playful way saying, be careful what you wish for, because everything's organized, and then this energy comes in, and it's the kind that kind of takes your breath away. So I feel like it's a crush, or it's a significant emotional, it just kind of hits you in the heart space. There is a potential for this to go long term. But take care of yourself, get organized, get stable in mind, body, and spirit first, and then we see things going in a good direction, okay? What kind of energy is coming through? Could be a Libra, for sure. It could be King of Cups, which would be a water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or Libra. Those are the ones that are jumping out. I really feel like this is more you just speaking your mind. So there you go. Past life energy, though, for sure. In all relationships, Six of Cups shows that there's past life energy. It was parental or boss type in the past. So in all relationships this month, but particularly new love, try not to fall into the trap or the old habit of one person trying to parent or take care of the other. See each other as equals, okay? For those that are happily single, I should say, the most important thing right now is your health. So that's item number 1 on the list. Get that taken care of. Then take a look at your living situation and your finances. Anything that could constitute the Tower or the Ten of Swords, let's clean that up first. Then a lot of energy in meeting new people. So this is a great month for new friendships. It's a great month for business, growing your business, because we do have the Eight of Wands here. But just pace yourself. That's the main thing that I get here for single and happy. All right, let's move on to destiny. Time for a quantum leap. Amen to that. Prepare for a makeover. So if something wasn't working or didn't feel right, or if you've been neglecting your own happiness and self-care, the quantum leap card comes through to say, let's change this up. Let's get unfrozen. Let's reanimate. Let's come back to life, resuscitate. All of those words and thoughts are coming through as I look at this. Also, that Fool card, this is usually like a leap of faith, if I can get it to come up here. So this is a leap of faith, but not just a regular leap, a quantum leap. So something could go even further than you expect, even faster than you anticipate. So reach high and keep your thoughts elevated as well. Let's take a look now at sun, rising, and moon sign messages and see what's in store. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, let's begin first with sun. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse. This is basically showing you that you don't have to shoulder the burden alone. Literally, that's what this illustration is showing. It's also a reminder that you're so close to the finish line. Often, this last leg of the journey is the most challenging, mentally, physically, emotionally. So whatever you need to do to recalibrate and to relieve yourself a little bit of some of this stress, delegate. I say this all the time. I mean, we see this is literally the card of delegation here, the Seven of Wands. Push back and say, I need some help here. This is unreasonable. Is this necessary? Like, use your voice. And that's what the Page of Swords is saying. Speak up to why, maybe you don't need to do all of this right now. And then once you take a break, finish what you've started. That's the big takeaway from Spirit here, is look at how much you've done, look at how capable you are and how far you've come. And at this point, it's important to just see it to fruition. See it to the finish line. You've got this, okay? Be mindful of your back. The Ten of Wands, just like the Ten of Swords, can show challenges with, a pulled muscle, slip disc, things of that nature. So pace yourself. Looking at rising and ascendant, we have the Five of Wands in the reverse state. Collaboration, not competition. That's really what this is speaking to. Also, if you're in a situation where everybody's trying to speak at once, everyone's trying to get the attention of whoever the supposed leader is on this, this is your chance to actually lead by example, possibly step into a leadership role. This can also just be fatigue, like you're tired of working and not seeing anything happen, like a hamster on a hamster wheel. And it's like, keep running and running and running, but you're still in the same place, the frozen energy. There may be a smarter way to work or a smarter place to work or a better place to be. Something about the team is lacking. So if you can't go into a leadership energy and help them, or if they don't listen, find a different team. That's what I see there. And focus on getting the job done, because there's distraction. And this can also just be that causing you, it's taking away from your focus and your concentration. We don't need that right now. So yeah, finding a better group to spend time and energy with. Moon sign. This is about seeing things for what they truly are, taking the blindfolds off, removing the unnecessary sort of block in front of you. So when reversed, it really is about looking, hearing, seeing, taking it all in, and then deciding what you want to do with that. So revelation energy, and acceptance. And that's going to help you, going back to the center here, figure out what it is that you want to do and be in that energy of justice. Okay, let's focus now on your final question. This can be anything that you still need some advice on. Close your eyes, ask the question, welcome in the higher guidance. Let's shuffle the cards and see what Spirit has to say. Okay, Two of Pentacles is an interesting card. If you ask me a yes or no, I would say no, but here's why. There's something lacking in the balance, like the trade-off, give and take. And when we're looking, particularly if you're looking at like compensation, Two of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, it's not quite break even. It's break even, but is it really worth it? Probably not. So I think that there's a chance to make a better choice or advocate for a little bit more. This is also reminding you to say no. This rubber band around the Two of Pentacles can be stretched only so far, and then it snaps. This can then result in an argument, fatigue, anger, anything that you see in the Ten of Swords. So making a choice. It's time to make a choice. That's why justice came through. So for many of you, it's saying no to something. It's okay to say no. And I think whatever it is, if it was a yes, no, you need more time or energy or money or information. And I think that there might be a better option. And I think there might be something you need to release as well. Create better balance first, then move forward. Okay? And that's everything that is coming through for this month. This was ridiculously powerful, and I couldn't wait to do the reading today because I received so much. Anybody that's a medium knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just have to deliver it. Now I can be myself for the rest of the day, but my guides and angels and higher self was like, you got to get this Gemini reading out. So this was by far one of the most powerful ones this month, particularly the unfrozen piece. I hope it resonates. I hope you guys take that to heart and allow yourself to be liberated. Okay? Did you enjoy this? I know I did. If you did, do me a favor. If you're an existing subscriber, just like it. If you've never subscribed, subscribe. It's free. It helps the channel grow. It helps new people find me, and it tells me you like this. So thank you. I appreciate it. You can also join me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. Be mindful of people that pretend to be me. Usually they'll try to send a message or create a comment, it's like fake engagement. So just be smart. The only way you can connect with me is here on YouTube, and in a live stream. Otherwise, be mindful of the other stuff. If you want to show love and support, you can do it right here on YouTube through memberships, super stickers, super chat, super likes. All of that, much appreciated, and it helps me continue to rebuild my studio and create more videos just like this. And that's everything, folks. Thank you for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube and for continuing to create a wonderful community, to show up, to work on yourselves, and to make this fun for me too. I wish you all the best. Remember to check out, by the way, my daily, weekly, and special topic videos that I do. They're all on my main channel page. Take care, and I'll see you soon.